Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome back. We're getting ready for series number 2 of the HeroesCCL. We're in week 5 at the moment, day number 2. Only 2 weeks left before the playoffs. Should be very exciting. Let's talk about what series we have coming up today. We have just finished Chili Mountain versus Sidestep Kings, and we are getting ready to head in to Simplicity versus CrowdControl. Danny Don't Disco, thank you for the raid during the break. Very appreciated. And Simplicity versus CrowdControl is our next matchup. CrowdControl, they have to win in order to try and stay competitive with Wild Hearts and with Oxygen Esports. If CrowdControl win, no matter what the score, actually, because it's map ratio, if Wild Hearts win, they will at minimum be on 14. Then it'll be 14 and 8. I mean, their map score would go up by 1, so they'd be +6. I mean, they'd be tied with Wild Hearts, but I believe Wild Hearts would take the preference because of Versus. I think that's how that would work. So yes, I believe Wild Hearts will stay second. If CrowdControl win with 3-1 or anything less than that, then they will be matched with Oxygen Esports. So they will overtake Wild Hearts. If they can win with 3-0, then what CrowdControl will take a 14 and 6, putting them at a +8 map ratio, and that will make them the current strongest team. Hey, Biggins, how's it going? So if CrowdControl can win 3-0, they will take first place. Simplicity, they are looking to try and be the only team to be 3-2. If they win, they will put themselves in there with CrowdControl. They won't overtake CrowdControl. There is no way for Simplicity today to overtake CrowdControl. Pretty crazy to see here. But what Simplicity really want to do is not lose this series. Because if they lose, their minus score will be 11 in the maps lost. If that's the case, then if they lost 3-0, they would move to 7th place, all the way down below Granite Gaming. If they lost in a 3-1, they would be 8 and 11, still below Granite Gaming. Big B, thank you for the 50 bits. Very appreciated. We'll talk about bits and subs in a second. So, if they lose 3-1, they will be, 1-3, the Simplicity will be below Granite Gaming. If they lose 3-2, they will be tied with Granite Gaming, which means that it would go down to Versus. I believe those two teams have played each other before. Let's double check that. Group stage. So it would come down to Versus. If that had happened, in which Simplicity won. So if Simplicity can lose 3-2, then they will stay ahead of Granite Gaming, and they will move into 6th place, with 30k and Sidestep Kings overtaking them. But if Simplicity win, then they stay where they are. They stay in 4th. So it's a difference right now between 7th, 6th, and 4th between Simplicity. Every win counts. Let's get this going. You heard that sound. That means the draft has started. And we are heading into Battlefield of Eternity for our first game of this best of 5 series, with Simplicity taking first pick and first ban. They're going to start by banning out the ETC. ETC for CrowdControl, very popular. We know Lauba loves it. Currently over 9 games, has a 77.78% win rate. The only hero that they have played more times than ETC is Johanna, with 11 games played by Lauba. He really likes Johanna, 63.64% win rate there. There goes that Medivh ban. We do know that Simplicity have a sneaky Medivh, only been allowed to play it once, 100% win rate. We're going to start off with Rexar for Cure. Only Rexar pick we have seen so far for Simplicity. They have yet to show this. Brand new tricks being revealed. Very fun. Reminder also that we are seeing Simplicity running Masquerade today. They traded Wit for Masquerade. I do love Wit. Masquerade has a little bit of a higher performance ratio, but it's pretty even between the two of those. I am still not sure whether this trade is worth. I guess today is going to be the day that we find out. Masquerade traded away from 30k, Wit becoming a free agent. We'll see how it goes. Cassia and Urel starting off for CrowdControl, not prioritizing their tank. Yrel, 4 games played, only won 1 of them, so a little bit of a rough start for them there. But that Cassia for Dynow, on the other hand, also only... oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong team. Whoops, my bad. 25% is for the Yrel, would have been for Simplicity. Simplicity do grab that Imperious, though, which is much better for them. 100% win rate over 2 games. And this time, I am looking at the right team. Li Ming also, 2 games, 100% win rate. Simplicity, knowing what they like and sticking with it. On the side of CrowdControl, that Cassia, currently 85% win rate over 7 games, and that Yrel, 62% over 8 games. So sticking with their high win rate heroes, even if they lose a game or 2, they're still sticking with those picks. Simplicity now. Again, Johanna would be the next highest priority tank for Lauber here. Would move him down. His next highest priority tank after the Johanna and after ETC drops down a significant amount to Imperious, who has been stolen away. And after that, we are moving very, very far down the board in terms of that pick priority to Mal'Ganis, by the looks of it. Am I missing something? Oh, there's Muradin. Muradin as well. Mal'Ganis and Muradin both only been played once, and both only with a single win. So if they've been able to steal that Johanna, that could have been a very interesting setup that they would have tried to punish CrowdControl for. But as it goes, we are going to see Lauber go for that Muradin, yet to win with it. Still going to pick it up. And X-Ray, you saw the Gilly interview where we do see Ana coming in. He does like the Ana. Most Ana's played of any player in CCL. Currently on 8 games, 75% win rate, which is a 6-2 ratio for X-Ray. And that sets them up for either just continuing that Lightning Fury Cassia build, or sets them up for a great spell power hero for Hutzau. Stukov going to be picked up. Sets them up for a great burst setup with Simplicity here. And Raider, they are very much all in on picking people here. They have some really solid race with Reina and Li Ming. Their burst potential is kind of crazy. I'm not sure if I would have preferred the Tychus over Reina, though, with Grenade build. Might have set them up for a better chance of killing Muradin. Reina doesn't get percentage damage until level 16. So now CrowdControl, final Assassin on the board. They don't go with an Assassin. It's Hyper Carry Cassia time, as we see Hutzau bringing out the Zarya. Very interesting here, flipping this game on its head a bit. CrowdControl, they decide to bring some curiosity in. Talking about Hutzau, playing with Lauber's fan club, performing very well with the team, but that Zarya is a little bit of a flip. They have played it before, 100% win rate so far. Let's see if they can keep that ratio going, bring it out for the 2nd time as we prepare to head into game number 1 of this best of 5. If you're enjoying the stream, please consider dropping a donation via bits of the Streamlab links below. It really helps me keep this stream going and keep casting these CCL games, because CCL sure aren't paying me. But if you are enjoying especially much, then maybe consider dropping a subscription. We're currently on a race to try and see if we can hit 150 subs by Christmas. The goal was 100 subs, but we smashed that yesterday ridiculously hard. So we're currently on 121 subs. We had a couple expire today, but that means we only need 29 subs in order to hit 100 before Christmas. That is just over a sub a day. That's all we need. Unfortunately, I don't stream every day, but it is 100% doable. So if you're enjoying, please consider dropping a sub. And of course, the biggest thing you can do to support this stream is to share it around. Be active on Reddit, show people that you like my casting, and bring them over so that they can join our lovely Heroes family. Let's get this going. On the left, it shall be Simplicity, bringing out that Rexar, a much more traditional Battlefield of Eternity composition. Very nice to see. And on the right, we're going to be seeing CrowdControl, starting up with a less standard build with the Zarya and Cassia Hyper Carry style. We'll see how it goes. Zarya even starting with the extra energy gained from shielding an ally. Very interesting here. This is, of course, burst protection to try and avoid people dying to the Imperious strat. That is the main play here. We see a quick race using the Zarya shield to try and absorb some tower hits. Great stun by Lauber. Prevents the turnaround from Simplicity, who did try to react. They set up in the middle of the map to prevent that from happening. Sleep Dart build starting off for the Ana here. Giveaway strong, as we've already mentioned. more energy for the shield of Zarya as they turn onto Masquerade, and that is first blood for CrowdControl. They go for more. Get quite a few stacks for onto Die now there, as he's able to get up to 5 stacks already on that Lightning Fury. Perfect Storm for Muradin as well, picking kills just as often as possible. Looks like we're going to be seeing Rexxar hold up top lane as Raider goes down to deal with the Aurel. Very interesting. Good stun onto Hutzau. Camp was started by Lauber and X-Ray, but they shall be interrupted and zoned off the point. Masquerade looks for his angle. Looks to try and set this up. Orbs coming in from the side. Hosty doing a lot of damage here. There's the silence onto Lauber, but Masquerade is body blocked again. The great gank from Dayquaza. And that's going to be a camp acquired and a second kill. Going over to CrowdControl. 2-0 right now. So Lutado on this Rexxar, taking the same strategy, by the way, that we have been seeing from from Hasuorbs of running the Rexxar in the ranged assassin role, and they're using the fact that Reyna is ranged to win the offlane, which is why Cure is playing it. It's a great swap around, but it does leave them with a little bit less tanky, less players used to tankiness, but Lutano taking that Hasuorbs role. They try to charge in, shield onto Muradin. They get a lot of sustain onto him, and Lauber's able to sustain. So yeah, it's a reactionary style here. They still have the exact same composition, but they're playing it, taking some advice out of Hasuorbs' book in a very unique way that gives them a lot of potential. Defensive shielding coming in for the Zarya. Personal barrier or shield ally, getting physical armor against 2 hero basic attacks. Great against Reyna and the Rexxar here. Very sensible. Inner light for the Cassia, nothing too surprising. Hunter Gatherer for Rexxar, very interesting. Dayquaza sees Masquerade, gonna try and follow him in, tries to land the stun. But that is enough to show that there is a fight happening, that there is an entire big rotation down here. In fact, everyone from the side of Simplicity is down here. We see CrowdControl. They try to posture up for the objective straight away. No feel the heat for Hutzau means he is not going to be going for full Immortal Race. He is just going for sustain. Protect Lauber at all costs. Very interesting meta from the side of CrowdControl. They try to move on to Masquerade again. Not able to get the kill this time. Lauber eats the way to Pustule, takes a little bit of damage there. Defensive positioning for CrowdControl. They, of course, lose this race. Reyna Li Ming, they lose this race hard. Lutado got out of position. Anti-heal grenade from X-Ray. They dive in, and Dayquaza picks up the kill. Masquerade looks to try and zone, but again, Lutano way too far forward with his body there. Got caught out. You can't afford it to be that risky in positioning with Rexxar here. Great position by CrowdControl to put enough pressure on to force that out. Lots of energy just gained by Rutzau there. That's a lot of damage output. Great charge onto X-Ray, but no one following up. Halftime show is going to be gained by Simplicity. Still getting their quick head start here. There's the damage, killing off Masquerade though. Numbers advantage in favor of CrowdControl now. But you can see Cure and Hosty doing so much damage here that they will just win this. Despite losing a member, despite everything, they still have so much more race than CrowdControl. CrowdControl have to play more aggressively in order to capitalize on the fact that they do have a better team fight at this stage at least, and try and pick off Simplicity. Level 10 might be their big trigger level, but right now, they are struggling. We see bot lane being pushed in. Cure and Lutano, they're using the bear to tank some shots before the minions arrive. Lauber makes his way down, both the front line down here, leaving all the ranged to deal up in top lane. They get behind Lutano and Cure. They're going to try and set up onto Lutano, but it's going to be Dayquaza who actually takes quite a lot of damage, forced to back away, and they are unable to deal with this Muradin. Masquerade nearly dies in the top lane, though, forced to back away, grab the fountain. They're still going. Dayquaza, though, is losing a lot of health. Dauntless is keeping him alive for now, but the Divine Steed nowhere near enough to keep him alive. And Lauber and Dayquaza very much underestimating the power of the Rexxar Raider as they get crushed in that bot lane, and they begin to push in. Simplicity, they find their advantage and begin to try and grab their first fort of the game. Running low on minions, though. We see Lauber jumping forward. Not going to capitalize. Got the Skull Cracker, by the way. They're going to back away. Rutzau sustains everyone, gets the globe, clears out the lane very quickly. There is still a siege camp in top lane and bot lane to grab. Neither team capitalizing on that for now. No surprise here on the level 7 for Zarya, going with the pinpoint accuracy. That seems to be the go-to talent these days. It's a little bit of extra damage. 30 plus 4% per level to enemies hit in the center, and slowing enemies near the center as well. Great for chase, great for damage, and great for Immortal Race. They try to rush down the bear, they get it. Gonna be the kill. Counter kill though onto Dayquaza, who's having a shocker of a game right now. Simplicity really punishing Dayquaza very hard here, picking him off free level 10 before he gets that Ardent Defender that will shut down a lot of that race. Counter race on the bot lane. They're gonna try and grab their own fort, but Simplicity are beginning to creep into a pretty solid lead. Despite being down 2 kills, they are managing to find members of CrowdControl and get much better push going because their race is stronger. The sheer damage output of Simplicity being a bit too hard for CrowdControl to deal with at this stage, but Masquerade got out of position again, but in this case he will be able to escape. Masquerade has been able to get quite a lot of very good picks for his team, but he's also been caught out a couple times. Needs to balance that line effectively. He's playing very well though. Let's see if he can keep it up. Bruiser camp being started by CrowdControl. Their Immortals on their sides. They can play more defensive. Mirrored by Simplicity. Exactly the same here. They also now have their level 10s. Hyperion, Unleash the Boars, Angelic Armaments, Wave of Force, and Massive Shove. On the other side, Nano Boost, Expulsion Zone. There's our Undefender. Going to be very important for Dayquaza this game by the looks of it. Ball Lightning. Hyper carry that Cassia with Nano Boost, Ball Lightning, Q build. And Muradin going with the Avatar, sustaining his way through the fights. They move forward. The bear gaining a lot of vision here. Actually stuns out Loba. Their Celestial Charge. The shield from Zarya blocks a little bit of the damage. Expulsion Zone. They're going to try and take out Masquerade. They're trying to dive through to get Collusion. Massive shove to the disengage. Masquerade dodges Dayquaza by diving over the wall. And that keeps them alive. Bruiser Camp still pushing in top lane. As we do see the Immortal already taking some shots from Hostiques. That's exactly what they can do now. Just siege in. Making their way forward, trying to go for the engaged Loba onto the backline. They try to turn onto Masquerade one more time. Anti-heal grenade and Masquerade again over the wall with Collusion, preventing any chase with that lurking arm. Here come the Boars. Unleash, stun onto Loba, but he's too tanky at this stage. Dino is slowed, but will be able to get away. 13 nowhere near for either of these teams, so that's not needed to be worried about as Dayquaza clears out bot lane. Getting that little bit of extra experience. Making their way forward. Q's coming out from Dino. Lightning Furies across the board, keeping the pressure on. They didn't use too many heroics here. More heroics have been used by Simplicity, meaning CrowdControl have the better opportunity to engage. They crisp up the bear a little bit. Loba moves forward. CrowdControl, they're playing very slow, very safe. They're waiting for a mistake to be made. Stun the bear. A little bit of damage is dealt. Anti-heal grenade. You can really see the low damage output of CrowdControl beginning to punish them. There's the Celestial Charge. No Zarya in position. Sorry, no Girel in position here as they try to move on to the bear, picking that up. Angelic Armaments from over the wall. Masquerade does a small amount of damage to Dayquaza. Only the bear killed again, though. Half a hero. But the race is achieved. Halftime show. Grabbed by CrowdControl. Here come the Boars. Bear about to respawn and rejoin the fight. They might try and capitalize on this Expulsion Zone. Ball CrowdControl a lot of time. They back up. Moving into the offensive position. Big stun onto Cure. Sleep Dart as well with Night Terror is going to do a big chunk of damage. They clear out the siege camp. And momentum is still being grabbed. CrowdControl, they're slow, but you can see just how fast the race is. The second CrowdControl showed in lane, Simplicity made their way onto the Immortal, and they melt it. Here comes the Hyperion, though. They're still looking for the fight as Cassia is dropped low. Dino in trouble, getting healed up by X-Ray. They stay alive, though, and we will see the Immortal won by CrowdControl. And I think this was a mistake by Simplicity. They have a much faster race, but instead of just turning and winning that race, when they saw the engage coming out of CrowdControl, they chose to turn and try and engage and take the fight back. I think that is a mistake by them, and as such, they have lost this Immortal. Right now, though, Raider is up there defending it alone. He has that Exterminator, and that clears so fast as the rest of the team is dealing with the fact that CrowdControl are trying to push in the bot lane. Big focus onto Dino. Wave of Force trying to hold him still. The healing is out. Nano boost for the extra damage on Dino as they take out the bear. They're stunned onto Lutano, trying to focus him down. The lurking arm is good. Grenade! Lutano escapes from 50 health. If that lurking arm had not come out, that grenade would have come out 2 seconds earlier, and the extra passive regen of Rexxar would not have been enough to save him. Great play by Collusion, keeping his team alive, but he's out of mana. Immortal in top lane did get the fort. They continue to siege in. They don't have their minions here yet. Everyone's ported back. Lutano back to full health. And we do see Dequaza has made it in as well. Says hello. Gets a little bit of extra experience too. Bronzebeard Rage on level 13. We see the attack speed coming in for Rexxar. Lutano going with a little bit of extra damage here. Not going with the burst. There's a great Celestial Charge, but anti-heal grenade and the interruption. Hosty forced to back up due to the expulsion zone as Dino went full deep. But the rest of the team was able to take out Masquerade on the backline as they turned on him as he was left alone. Right now, Dino was just able to zone away the entirety of Simplicity. Just by himself. As they get the kill onto Masquerade. Aspects of the Hawk has come in, as we have already mentioned, for Rexxar here, for Lutano. Going to try and use it there, but no, they can't. Lutano struggling to find positioning, to really find the angle of engage. Cure going to try and port back. Dino spots him, going to try and chase him down. But there's that speed boost with Inspire, and Lutano able to get, Cure able to get away. Siege camp taken by CrowdControl. Another one down in bot lane is available. Simplicity, though, they're going to posture for that first. Bruiser camp going to be taken by CrowdControl on the right. Simplicity, they're a little bit on the back foot, but they still definitely have the potential to take this. They have Virulent Reaction now. Plenty of other talents that will allow them to try and capitalize on these fights. Level 16. A little bit closer, just under half a level closer for CrowdControl, as that is the lead they hold. Double camp push up in top lane, but it's right next to the Immortal. And of course, we already mentioned, race very easily won by Simplicity here. They're being a little slow with this, not bringing everyone to bear. They do back up. They back up, clearing out the mercenaries. And as such, CrowdControl making the most of it. They're just going to try and win this. They didn't actually lose the halftime show by that much because a couple people left early to go deal with those camps in top lane. Sleep Dart on the bear with percentage damage, focus, stun, and dead. Very effectively done here. CrowdControl continuing just to pick up that bear. It's the majority of their kills this game. Make their way forward, trying to race. They do have Sledgehammer, so that Muradin damage is adding up. Dequaza looks for Hosty, cannot find it, but with that, they bought themselves some time to step up. Rexxar, Lutano showing in top lane, Cure, Reyna showing in bot lane, meaning that they knew they had enough time to win that race. Immortal with just about 50% shield going in for CrowdControl here. Let's see what they can do with it. Unstoppable Competitor, by the way, was level 13 for Zarya to avoid some damage and Cleansing Shield. Trying to avoid all that CC of Simplicity. Cleanse out the damage. Not using it there on Loba. Dequaza hovering above. Waiting to see if they can pick someone off here. Bear comes round. Bear's going to be the one to take the damage. They don't have enough to finish off the bear this time. In fact, dodges the stun. Hyperion being used defensively. There's the Virulent Reaction again. Celestial Charge coming out onto Zarya, who can't cleanse herself here. There's just a competitor for the turnaround though. Lutano, Ball, Lightning. They don't even need it. Zarya able to finish the job with the grenade. The nano boosted Dino though, doing so much damage. And with that Immortal having half health, Dino is so low. Cure with the chase, trying to finish the job, but the turnaround. Dino gets the kill. They lose Zarya though. Reset for Hosty. Immortal makes it to the core, but they cannot go further. Dino is too low. They don't have enough health to try and raise it. They're still trying though. They still siege, but the Immortal is dead. No damage on the core, and CrowdControl have to back up. Celestial Charge lands on Loba. They look to try and take out Hosty. If they get Hosty, they can maybe end this game. They don't get the kill. Hosty is too quick. The blink away to try and teleport. Loba finds the kill, actually, and they're going to try and do some damage to the core. They get a short percentage off with the sledgehammer, but they're forced to back away. Masquerade trying to capitalize, trying to set up one more kill. Anti-heal grenade. Masquerade stunned out by Loba. The big race onto him. Loba, if he gets counter-charged here, he could get killed. There's a disengage from Dayquaza, buying Loba the time he needs. His mana is low. Cure has respawned, and they really have to back up. They burned a lot of time there. They did get some percentage off the core, though. 93% acquired is the core of Simplicity now. As CrowdControl make their way bot lane, they will begin to clear that up, grab themselves some Impalers. Second set of Impalers available up in top lane. Zarya clearing out the top lane for now, just grabbing the experience for CrowdControl, trying to race them towards that level 20. The imposing presence for the Primal Intimidation for Rexxar, giving themselves a lot of extra sustain against Cassia and against Muradin. Try and lose the value on that Skullcracker. Mirror Ball is good. Quick race onto bottom 4. We do see Simplicity. They're just going to be able to pick that up. Gives them a lot of value. Bruiser Cam picked up. CrowdControl still in full control, but they don't go for the Immortal early. Simplicity again, able to get quite a solid head start here. Halftime show, quite in favor. Almost 10,000 health in favor of Simplicity, but look at this. This looks familiar, doesn't it? Double camp up in top lane, forcing the reaction out of Simplicity, meaning CrowdControl can step up and begin the race. Great little setup. Celestial Charge interrupted there. Nicely done. Masquerade forced to back up. But they left a couple of the Impalers up in top lane because they need to try and counter push, make their way forward. Ana sieging. Expulsion Zone takes out the Lutano Rexxar here as they look further. Dayquaza going a very deep-hearted defender as they try to push forward. Collusion will be picked off by Loba and Dino. Nano Boost was burned here as they try to move on to Masquerade. Angelic Armaments is used, but he is so isolated that there is no way Masquerade will escape. We tried to see Hosty going with the reset here, but he is being isolated as well. He didn't get the kill on Ana, and that is a disaster. He went in very aggressive for that, and as such loses his life, and as such, they probably lost the game. 4 people dead. Cure pushing top lane. We see bot lane being raced in. Cure not even porting back to base yet. He's grabbing experience up in top lane. And that's going to be GG. Cure not even going to bother defending. That will be game number 1, going over to CrowdControl. Very nicely done. Simplicity needing to fight back now. The best they can score is their 1-3. Meaning they can avoid 7th place if they win every game from now on. Chrono, thank you very much for the sub. Welcome, and very appreciated. Using your Twitch Prime as well, very smart. Don't spend any more money than you have to. Let's have a look at the stats here. 3 kills to 14. Very effective play by the side of CrowdControl. Dominant positioning. Only deaths. Dayquaza killing him in the early game where they were able to pick up a couple kills. While before that undefender came up, Dayquaza got caught out a few times, and Rus out in that final fight in the bottom lane at the core. Good turnaround by the side of Simplicity there, but as such, this was still a very rough game. The Immortal race came down to nothing when they were just outpushed, where they lost every fight and were unable to actually break through the sheer offense of CrowdControl. CrowdControl with game number 1 here. One step closer to creeping their way up the board. Let's remind ourselves of what they are looking for. CrowdControl currently sitting in 3rd place behind Wildheart. If they 3-0, they become 14-6, and they will move into 1st place. CrowdControl will become the leading team. If they score 3-1, they will be 14-7. Tied of Auction Esports. Those 2 teams yet to play. CrowdControl and Oxygen Esports have yet to play each other. They play, I believe, in they play next week. So on Versus, it would just be a tie, as they have not played yet, meaning that it would be a tied first place. That would be interesting. If it's a 3-2, then they would be 14 and they would be 14 and 8, meaning they would have a +6 ratio, meaning they'd be tied with Wild Hearts, and CrowdControl would lose on Versus, keeping CrowdControl in 3rd place. So CrowdControl, if they lose 1 map, they get tied with Oxygen. If they lose 2 maps, they get tied with Wild Hearts but lose on Versus. If they lose 3 maps, they're just in 3rd. They can't, Simplicity can't overtake them. At least not this series. And of course, those top 3 positions, those are the important ones to remember. If you can get into that top 3, then you have less matches to play when it comes down to playoffs. Very doable. Simplicity, as we've already mentioned, they are fighting for every single map. They can now no longer get anything higher than a 10 and 9, which would be the same as 30k if they were able to win here. They have lost to 30k, so they would move below 30k in the ratio and would move into 5th. So Simplicity, still possible for them. Sorry, no, it would be the best they could get would be a 10 and 9. So if they win, they would still be tied with 30k, and they would move into 5th place because 30k won on Versus. Sidestep Kings would still be behind them due to the score ratio. So best Simplicity could hope for now is 5th place. It is doable for them though, but now they have to fight through CrowdControl. CrowdControl 2 wins away from moving into 1st place on the standings. Let's see if they can do it. You missed the first series. Is there a game worth watching? I say so. I think all the games are worth watching. Make sure you check it out on youtube.com/Tetcher. I think every game is worth watching because it still gives you a lot of information about the teams and what heroes they play. Game number 1, I think, is especially worth watching because we saw something very interesting from Sidestep Kings. So I think that's worth watching. So, we're waiting for lobby number 2 to be set up. Battlefield of Eternity already down. Lead set for CrowdControl. Let's see if they can keep that momentum going and make their way in. Yeah, game number 1, I think, is definitely worth watching. If you're looking for exciting games. Game number 3 was actually pretty exciting as well. 1 and 3, let's say. 1 because of the interesting picks. 3 because of the actual interest for a very interesting game. Very entertaining. So, we're getting ready for the next matchup. Let's have a look at map preferences between the 2 teams. For Simplicity, highest win rates, Cursed Hollow, Infernal Shrines, Sky Temple. These are going to be their priority maps if any of them are left available. For CrowdControl, highest win rate maps, Sky Temple, Infernal Shrines, and Volskaya Foundry. We're not getting any of those though because we are starting off with Dragonshire as we head into draft number 2 of our 2nd series. So, let's see where we go from here. This will be first pick for Simplicity. Meaning that CrowdControl chose to take us to Dragonshire. They've only played 2 games on Dragonshire so far, and they do ban Dragonshire pretty every now and again. They've banned it once. Their most common map bans, by the way, Tomb of the Spider Queen and Cursed Hollow. So Dragonshire, they currently have a 50-50 win rate on it. Simplicity, their most banned map, also Dragonshire. So this is probably the strategy of CrowdControl. They see that the Simplicity don't like playing on Dragonshire, and as such, they're going to try and take them to it. Very interesting. Simplicity now. Going to start off with that Cassia ban. Very sensible. We know Sao just kind of dunks, and it literally just ate them. Chromie going to be removed from Simplicity. We know they're Chromie. They do ban it quite a lot. Most banned against Simplicity is Medivh and Johanna. Not too surprising there. As we already mentioned, they're Medivh, 100% win rate. They're Chromie, 50% win rate. They're going to be the ones to ban the Rexar here, removing that away from CrowdControl. Very interesting. So far, that means Medivh is up. CrowdControl really should ban Medivh. Don't fall into the trap Don't fall into that how hard can it be trap. Don't do it. It's a trap. Let's see. Okay, we're good. They don't fall into the how bad can it be trap. Rexar, by the way, another hero that has not yet been shown by CrowdControl. There's Johanna. We mentioned one of the most banned heroes against Simplicity is picked up. They only have a 50-50 win rate on it, but we do know that Masquerade, as he comes in here, has a slightly different way of playing Johanna and has a pretty solid win rate with it. Very exciting. CrowdControl. What do we see for them for the start? We're not able to pick Hogger. Next week, Hogger will be available. Dayquaza starts us off with the Diva, still in the top priority heroes, and Muradin again for Lolba, with Johanna already on the board. Diablo becomes a little bit harder to play, still okay. Garrosh becomes a lot harder to play, so they're going to be going with that Muradin. And of course, ETC, Moshpit interrupts, very annoying. Muradin, though, Lolba seems to be liking that hero a lot. Nice to see him coming back. As Simplicity, they go for more burst heavy. The Karazim and the Sylvanas. That is a great potential burst. Mind Control Sylv, really high on the priority order right now. So very cool to see that coming in. They currently have a 100% win rate with Karazim, and Sylvanas has been part of a couple of those with a 66% win rate over 3 games. That is a 2-1. CrowdControl now with their next ban. What do you really ban here? They're against the Diva. They ban the Zeratul. That would still be very scary. Void Prism and then 7-sided strike. Anyone who's not in the Void Prison. It's pretty rough to deal with. Haha! You got wrecked by a bot. You suck. Simplicity now. With Diva and Muradin on the board, what are they scared of? Is it worth banning the Ana again? Or will we see CrowdControl get something like a Stukov, something more defensive? They ban the Brightwing. Burst Sustain, very effective. If they have enough warning to try and blink in and save people from the burst damage. CrowdControl now. Let's see what they do. As a fun fact, CrowdControl, when they watch Simplicity, as we do see them go defensively with Stukov, as they get the Falstad too, Lolba from CrowdControl, when he watched Simplicity play against Chili Mountain, he said that he was very surprised about Simplicity winning a couple of the matches. With Simplicity making a little bit of a mistake in game number 2 on the Infernal Shrines, where they were actually outdrafted pretty hard, but were able to emerge victorious. And in game number 3, winning because Chili Mountain made a few mistakes, as opposed to Simplicity playing effectively. As we do see Simplicity bringing out the Tracer and Abathur. Very scary composition, very hyper-aggressive from Simplicity to try and deal with this. But there is a Falstad on the board now. They already have Global to try and deal with that Abathur. Cure's going to have to play quite safe here. CrowdControl now. They go for the Tychus. Very defensive. Someone who can track Tracer. The big burst damage will be effective too. It's smart. This is a hero who's going to be able to work around and survive a lot of the burst engage of Simplicity. The Falstad, I think, is now in the most danger. Mind Control Sylv for percentage damage as well could really give Muradin a half time. It's going to come down, I believe, to how many of those Mind Controls can be hit and if they land on Muradin or Falstad. If they can hit Muradin or Falstad, I think that Simplicity have a good chance. But if they can't, I think CrowdControl have a much easier draft to execute. It's classic Occam's Razor style, and they have a very solid way to burst down those ranged assassins. I think CrowdControl have the better draft. I think Simplicity have a way around it if they can execute this Mind Control Sylvanas comp effectively. If this is Waning Arrow, I think Simplicity would have misplayed, and I think they will lose. We'll see if I'm right as we head into game number 2 of this best of 5. On the left, it will be Simplicity. Even in Death Spray, wow. That is an old one. On the right, CrowdControl, currently 1-0 up. If they win 3-0 today, they will take first place in HeroesCCL. Let's see what they can do. Classic quarterback, no surprise there. At Ballista Paws, really good versus the Tracer. Iron Fist. There's that percentage damage. Overwhelming Affliction. Going to be so important for Sylve. They need that damage. Spike Burst coming in for the Abatha. Cooldown reduction on the Spike Burst here gives them a lot of extra cooldown with that Pressurized Glands. A lot of extra cooldown in the Spike Burst, which allows them to get even more healing when you come down to Soma Transference. Loba takes a little bit of damage, not enough to be picked off yet. Sustains through, and Lutano gets out-traded pretty hard. Gets that Abatha hat though, gets the shield, and that will be passive healing over time as long as that shield is available. Abatha tunnels up to top lane, realizes D.Va is already pushing really hard. And D.Va does push really hard, clears the minions very quickly, and I'm concerned how much of a reaction we'll actually see from Abatha, well, how much reaction we'll actually see from Simplicity to deal with D.Va smashing in Abatha's top lane. Let's see what they can do. Lutano, Cure, and Collusion. Trying to race towers using black arrows. They try to trade some damage onto Rutzau as well. Lutano calls back. Loba gets healed up. Masquerade cleaning up the minion wave. It's a slow start to the game. Kills are being attempted by Simplicity though, but they don't have enough damage yet. Cure trades a lot of damage onto Loba though. That's nice. Dwarf Trust has to be burned. Double channel is achieved, and there's the kill. First blood. Lutano able to get that pulse bomb onto Falstad. Grabs the first kill of the game. Loba eating more hits. Cure with that overwhelming affliction, causing a lot of problems. Grenade onto Masquerade. Level 4 advantage in favor of Simplicity. Loba has to go over the wall. You see Collusion was looking to follow him. Didn't have the vision. There is level 4. That Adrenal Overload. Extra attack speed, which will really help Sylvanas here. Extra attack speed on Sylvanas means more overwhelming affliction damage, means more murder. Top lane still being held by Falstad. I am confused how they're just going to use Tracer. I was about to say that I'm confused how Simplicity figure they're actually going to get top lane, but it looks like they're just having Tracer rotate between mid and bot lane. Sorry, mid and top lane. Doing a good job already. 7,000 damage. Really topping up. Falstad really being punished for the fact that he's made a paper, being forced to roll away. Die now. Getting punished here. Loba's going to be the one who has to come in and deal with this. And that's going to give enough time, though, for X-Ray to channel bot lane and prevent the double channel. In fact, double channel going over to CrowdControl, as we do see D.Va grabbing top lane. Dayquaza getting the value for the team there. Masquerade being forced to back up. Still surviving, though. Another dive onto Falstad, trying to finish him off. This time got away. Another disable onto mid lane. This is very aggressive playing by Simplicity here, really capitalizing on their composition's strengths. But we do see CrowdControl playing it equally as aggressively to try and capitalize on a victory. They do lose control of bot lane, but they achieve their first kill of the game. Looking for their second. Lutano is the target, but he blinks away. Grenade will catch Hosty on the way out. Needs to be careful. Once that melting point's out, that might be enough to kill him in late game. So, level 7 is hit early for CrowdControl, getting that kill. There's that melting point. Boomerang for Falstad. Extra wave clear. Extra control of the objective. Level 7 now available for Simplicity as well. We don't go for the festering wounds. We're going for the extra damage from Lost Souls. The extra damage that got in a patch recently is very effective. Dayquaza trying to save Falstad, but it's not enough. Even going to be picked off as well before the self-destruct goes off. Great pickup there by Lutano. And D.Va might be wondering whether it would have been worth going for the nuclear option there. Of course, getting that mech explosion quicker means a quicker opportunity to get your mech back. Might have kept them alive. X-Ray is currently dueling with Masquerade down in bot lane. With the Abatha hat, though. Not going too well, but reinforcements have arrived. Rutzau with the body block attempt. They try to get Masquerade. Masquerade tanking through. It's not enough. The damage from Melting Point just short of killing off Masquerade. Very, very close. We see the pressure pushing them in. Double channel again. Falstad makes his way mid. They're not interrupting it this time, and it looks like Dynow will get this Dragon Knight. First Dragon Knight of the game going over to CrowdControl. Finding their opportunity, they finally get the right angle. Lauber looks to interrupt the rotation, try to punish them and give the Dragon Knight more time, as the Dragon Knight will be heading up top lane. Dayquaza going to be pushing in there with this. Let's see what they can do. See you, Cure. Dynow in that Dragon Knight. Rutzau down in bot lane, already piling on the pressure there. Mid to late game is going to be CrowdControl's. Late game is going to be the Simplicities. Basically, when Simplicity hit 20, they have the better team. If CrowdControl win before 20, they have the better team. Lutano, oh, very close to the kill. But now, Dynow has been revealed. There's the Gust being burned, but Cure still makes it in. They go for the trade, micro missiles, but Collusion gets the counter kill. That's going to be a 1-for-1. There's level 10 on the board for Simplicity, though. They took that fight a talent tier down. 7-sided strike. Pulse Bomb, we do see the mind control, of course. Finally, an Ultimate Evolution game. I'm so sick of monstrosity. Feels good. Mind Control and Mind Control, Ultimate Evolution, all going to be coming in here. Tracer at level 10 going with the Quantum Spike, 6% max health damage on the additionally on the Pulse Bomb. Nothing out of the ordinary for the side of CrowdControl, who right now are in retreat as Bless Shield comes out, Mind Control, and goodbye Lauber. The burst potential of Simplicity is their win condition here until they hit level 20. If they can keep staggered deaths, they have a chance to get map control, but if they take full team fights, they will lose. Bruiser Camp pushing in the top lane, Siege Camp pushing in the bot lane. They rush in to the bot lane. Siege Camp cleaned out. Dynow makes it up. Cure. Gonna Haunting Wave. They tried to gust him to interrupt it, not able to do so. And that Mule getting some value. They have to burn Odin just to try and make sure that they can race this down. Very sensible by CrowdControl. They need to make sure that Mule doesn't get value by clearing this up as quickly as possible. In the meantime, though, counter push in bot lane. Dayquaza is down here, sends in the self-destruct to buy time, but immediately Lutano and Collusion dive forward, and their burst is so strong. Black Arrows is burned, double stun does come out from Muradin, who is already stacked as Lauber. He tries to defend. In the meantime, his team's kept going. We're seeing a race right now. There's the mind control. Goodbye Lauber. So Fort will go down. In the meantime, keep walls being knocked on by CrowdControl, trying to gain value up there. They grab top camp to try and gain some momentum here. Porting coming out of Simplicity. Front wall taken out. Front wall taken out in exchange for 2 kills, though. XP almost equal. Kill count very heavily in favor of Simplicity. Bronzebeard Rage, Remorselessness for Sylvanas. Falstad yet to pick. There we go, Eerie Gusts. X-Ray needs to be very careful. Second Cure shows up. That is a death ball there. They try to move in, looking for X-Ray. Mind control, barrel rolled away. Dynow not caught in it. Good escape. Double channel is available, but we will see it. We will see Dayquaza neutralizing it thanks to bot lane. They stay alive here. Bless Shield. Focus, 7-sided strike. X-Ray walks back in to take some of the shots from Lauber. Keeps Lauber alive. Weighted Pustule has been dropped. Double channel available for CrowdControl. Lauber is low. X-Ray drops the virulent reaction to try and take out Collusion, but they cannot do it. It's still going to be X-Ray who falls. Dynow getting zoned away by Cure. Cure easily wins that 1v1. They're still going to try and channel it, though. Lauber trying to zone them. In the meantime, Tracer will get bot lane, but now they have the opportunity to fight. Now they know they have an equal fight before Tracer gets back here. Mind control, but Masquerade still falls. There's the Gust to save Dayquaza from that mind control. With Tracer not being there, they knew they had the opportunity to fight. They had an equal fight there. Great reaction from CrowdControl to try and neutralize that kill of Simplicity. Worked out great. Simplicity, they try to capitalize. They know there's a double channel coming. They grab the siege camp, and then they will rush back mid. They're down a person, but they can still maybe get one interrupt before this channel comes in from Lauber. Tracer going to be the one to do it? No! They're going to try and get the kill instead. They let the Dragon Knight go. Looking for X-Ray. Biotic Armor getting a lot of value here for X-Ray. Keeping them alive. Micro Missiles onto Lutano. Dragon Knight, not enough damage for the kill, so instead they turn onto Cure. But Haunting Wave hits him out too. Grenade lands. Not enough for a kill. They make their way into the bot lane. This is, of course, the lane of choice. Triple camp lane. This is where they're going to try and capitalize. Pushing their way in. They try to siege. Dragon Knight cleans it out. Cure going to be punted away. Condemn from Masquerade, but not enough. Flailing Swipe comes out from X-Ray to save them. Masquerade is zoned away as the Dragon Knight. Only 30 seconds left. 90% health. Still Dragon Breath to clear out the minions, though. Value will still be gained. Masquerade trying to bully Dayquaza here. Not enough. Lots of shots onto Loba. Gust for disengage, so they immediately turn onto Masquerade. Iron Skin is burned. Disengage may have to come out. Rutzau caught in the Condemn. That's a bad shot there. The focus is good, and Rutzau will be taken out. Damage output so good. Cloned onto Hosty. As cloned onto the Tracer. Down goes Karazim, though, from the self-destruct. Hosty is zoned away on the backline. Dino just tanks through the Tracer clone. Nicely done. Mufi, hey Tetcher, thank you for casting relaxingly in the background while playing Heroes. Hope you're enjoying, lad. Hope you're having a good time. Lad or lass, I should say. I do not know. Or non-binary. Lass, lad, non-binary bass? As we do see Karaz at Collusion looking to see if we can follow up Lutano. Sorry, Lutano going in, deciding to recall. Loba gonna back away. Lots of sustain coming out from CrowdControl right now. Really starting to get their momentum. Q build from Tychus. That's where he's going to start to give Tracer a lot of grief here. If Tracer stays too close for too long, Tychus with those armor-piercing rounds and that spray and pray will melt through Tracer and really give her a rough time escaping. Face of Fire for Sylvanas, keeping her mobile. Way of 100 fists for Karazim. That is interesting. More burst. They're really all in on this burst style. Dayquaza dashes away from danger. Micro Missile, seeing if he could spot anyone still hanging around. Masquerade, I don't know if he was spotted there. Loba is playing very far up if he hadn't. There's some warning pings. Masquerade creeps forward. They get the reveal onto Lutano, forcing him to back up. Cure not yet rotating in. And Hosty on that Abathur. Just trying to push up top lane. Diverting power. Not landing onto Lutano, actually, so missing out on a lot of healing. Instead, they're still going to try and chase down Lutano. Good knockback, good condemn from Masquerade, buying them some time. Bless Shield. They try to seven-sided strike onto Dynow, but we do see Loba able to make his way in and take a few of those shots. Dynow will still be taken out. X-Ray trying to go with the sustain. Hosty on the Sylvanas clone into the backline, trying to cause some pressure, doing a good job. Good grenade. Hosty will barely survive. Jumps back in just to see if he can finish off a kill. Unable to do so. Clone goes down. But the kill onto Falstad. Only kill of that fight. Kurtza begins clearing up this minion wave. And in the meantime, we will see the siege camp being stolen away by Simplicity. They have a lot more sustain of their own now. Fanaticism for Johanna. They have the Relentless for the Karazim. A little bit of extra armor there to sustain them through some of the counterburst of CrowdControl. They've got the Adrenaline for the extra movement speed. The Adrenaline boost for Abathur. Soma Transference for the healing. The speed boost with the Adrenaline boost on level 16. Going to make it very hard to pin down that Tracer. This is a Hypercarry Tracer talent build. Mitchell, of course, also work on Sylve very easily. Super Strain for Stukov on the other side, trying to prevent some of that CC, some of that burst. Collusion is spotted. Siege camp being started, but Loba is very deep in there, taking a lot of damage. There's seven-sided mind control, and goodbye. Mind control for the burst, very easily punishing Loba for stepping up. Can't afford to do that. There's Gus, self-destruct. Everyone able to step away. Lutano dodges, gets the shield from Blink. Here's Dynow with the charge, gets the kill. Speed boost on that level 16, able to let him speed out away. Cure comes in for Dayquaza. Here's the support from Collusion. Wraparound from Masquerade. They really want Dayquaza there. Massive swipe Blading swipe, sorry, as Dayquaza backs away. X-Ray dropped low. Cure cannot find the autos, though. Cannot find the kill. Retreat comes out. Double channel is available for CrowdControl. Mine is on the objective, though, preventing it from being captured. Level 20, going to be hit first for Simplicity. 10 kills to 6. The best game Simplicity have put up so far in this series. Playing hyper aggressively. Here we go. Ooh, Epiphany for the Karazim. Reset. Getting 2 stacks of Radiant Dash, allowing him to charge and to get more damage. 15 seconds on that Mind Control now, with that cooldown and reducing all the vision with the upgraded level 20. Hive Mind, Radiating Faith, and Get Stuffed for the Tracer. This is a big, big power spike for Simplicity now, as Johanna will back away. Loba just zoning away, making sure that he can protect that point. X-Ray is with him. Big push up in bot lane. And Falstad will be able to counter channel, preventing the Dragonite from being taken. There's Mind Control. 7-sided. They do get Loba in, but the mech is still killed. Dayquaza caught by the Johanna cube with Subdue complete. Dayquaza is taken out. Good attempt by X-Ray, but the damage output is just too high. There's Gus, though, with Wind Tunnel. They're going to try and take him out here. Big red button has been taken, but the damage isn't there. There's Mind Control. Already back off cooldown. Vaccine level 20, but they cannot catch Kutsao enough. Masquerade backs up, stunned out with the extra Skullcracker stun from Loba. They find the kill. Double channel once again available for Simplicity, but the turnaround 1 for 1. In terms of kills, as mid will be sieged in by Rutsao. Looks to even get the interrupt onto Cure's poor Loba and Falstad. They're going to double channel this. They're losing value bot lane, but they're still trying to get a Dragon Knight. Double channel available. Someone has to clear this. Looks like it's going to be X-Ray who makes his way back. They clear their way through. Mutano backs away. Good shot. Mind Control doesn't catch Die Now, but was really fishing for it. 7-sided without transgression to try and buy time. Collusion dashing to Cure. He doesn't have cleanse. He doesn't have the speed boost either, but it's still enough. His own healing is enough to survive the burst. Here comes the channel. Die Now clearing up the trap of Avatha, and that will be enough. CrowdControl get the next Dragon Knight. They make their way into mid lane and will then likely rotate Bob. It looks like they're going to invade the camp first. Loba burning through that. He's the only one on it so far, though, and as such, Dragon Knight getting absolutely chunked. Mind Control over the wall, charging in, bless shield, and that is going to be Loba in serious trouble. He burns the Avatar, control chaos from Stukov, trying to keep him alive. Tracer is punted away from the fight, not available for this as the camp is stolen. Good kill by Dayquaza with the rushdown percentage damage. They get Collusion too, as they're able to pick up the kill. Loba barely surviving that fight. He's going to begin to heal up thanks to his second wind trait as they make their way back in. Luciano pings him, reduces a little bit of that healing. Mule pre-dropped in this top lane to sustain them through as they make their way in. Odin dropped big red button. CrowdControl looking to push forward. Dragon Knight only on 23% health, but they still have a lot of damage once it expires. It's Falstad inside. Big red button being used for the race. Masquerade trying to find the right angle. They jump over the stuns of the core, and this looks like game 2 will go over to CrowdControl. Well played by CrowdControl. They continue to hold on to their lead in this best-of-5 series. Let's see what they can do to see if they can close it out. Or can Simplicity pull off an insane comeback? We'll talk about what happens if they will be able to do so in but a moment after we have a look at the statistics. We can see here 11 kills to 9. Kills just in favor of Simplicity. They found so many kills, but they got their kills on isolated members with the odd kill on CrowdControl. When they killed isolated members, CrowdControl fell behind. But the second they were killing members in team fights, they burned so much to do so that CrowdControl were able to turn around and get counter kills. And that was a consistent issue as the game went on for Simplicity. CrowdControl able to recognize that enough important abilities were burned that they would be able to regain momentum. So, let's talk about what this score would mean if CrowdControl were to win right now. We've already talked about this before. Their score would go up to 14-6, giving them a +8 map score. This would put them ahead of Auction Esports in the 4-1 category, and CrowdControl would take first. Simplicity would be 7-11, and as such would move down to last, to 7th place, just above Chili Mountain, and below Granite Gaming, giving everyone above them a boost. If Simplicity can make the comeback, best score they could get here would be 10-10. That would be the best possible score that they could get right now. Very unlikely. See you later, Black Milk. Hope you jump back in later. Simplicity, if they were to win the series now, they would be 10-10, which would put them in the 3-2 ratio. This would keep them behind CrowdControl, but Simplicity, if they were to win, they would stay ahead of 30k, Sidestep Kings, and Granite Gaming. So Simplicity now have to pull off the reverse sweep. If they don't reverse sweep, Simplicity will move from 4th place to 7th. A big drop. But if they win, then Simplicity will stay in 4th place. If Simplicity were to lose, they would drop to 7th, 30k would take 4th, Sidestep Kings would take 5th, Granite Gaming would take 6th, etc. if Simplicity were to lose. Because they would drop down to 7 and 11. If Simplicity win, they are 10-10, but they are 3-2 in terms of series, meaning that they would be with the same series score as CrowdControl, but they would be behind in map score. So they would stay in 4th, CrowdControl would stay in 3rd. Simplicity right now, they are fighting over 3 position points. That is the best they can get. The best they can get is staying where they are. And of course, setting themselves up for the next weeks to try and move their way into the 3rd position. Because again, playoff teams, if you can stay in that top 3, you have a lot less games to play than the other playoff teams. Simplicity is sitting pretty right now. They need a full reverse sweep to set themselves up for something good. So, it is doable for Simplicity, but right now they are behind. Mainstream has gone on a break because 2 games have happened and they need to wet their whistles. So, let's talk about some players here. Let's jump onto Simplicity and talk about some of the players that they do have. Let's start off with Cure. Cure, who made a very brave call before CCL happened, that if he didn't get a say in who was on his team, then he would not be willing to play for the whichever org picked him up. A brave statement, but it's one that's backed up by experience. He is a very experienced player here, and it does show in his play. He is very, very strong. He started in 2015 playing on a team known as Team Blaze. Very well experienced, playing in North American Open in the Heroes World Championships, finishing 7th to 8th. In that, losing to Team Blaze. Team Blaze lose to Blaze. That is ironic. I have wished for those days. He also played in the Divergent Gaming Open and Heroes of the Dorm, finishing 2nd in Heroes of the Dorm 2016 with Texas Arlington, and 1st in 2017 with Texas Arlington, playing very, very well there. This, of course, 2017 was the first year of HGC, where he played with Team Freedom, getting all the way to the Western Clash, losing in a 2-3 to Team Liquid. Did pretty solid there. In the group stage, also came 2nd in the North American Pro League, so did pretty good there. In the Grand Finals, aka BlizzCon, positioned very well. Team Freedom, though, did lose to MVP Black, but who hasn't at some point in their career, and they finished 5th to 8th, before eventually moving on to the Gold Club World Championships, playing with Roll20, where they did lose to Super Perfect Team in a 3-1. In 2018, bit of a weaker performance, no first places here, stuck in 5th place or below, 1 3rd place in the North American Pro League with Team Octalysis, playing for them, but did finish 5th to 6th in Western Clash with Team 12, losing to Zealots, and then going on to Endemic Esports, losing in the Pro League to Team Freedom, his old team. It was very exciting to see, but that was as best as he could do. So, with Cure moving on to Endemic Esport, it was a solid team. They did do well, but of course, after 2018, they weren't able to do anything else because they did lose. HGC did die, and as such, we saw the moving on of Cure to Team Freedom, arguably the most successful amateur team of any team post HGC. Team Freedom, I'm going to wrist off a load of accolades here. First place Fight Night, first place Toasties and Gladman's Heroes Invitational, first place Fight Night 2, second place Heroes Hype Cup 1, First place Heroes Hype Cup 2, Cup 3, Cup 4, Cup 5, and second place Cup 6. First place in the Premier Series North America. Cup 2 again, first place. 5th to 8th place in Cup 4, losing to Team Good Guys. And first place in North America Cup 3, in Season 2, Cup 5, and Cup 6, before second place in the finals, losing to LFW, before 2020 finally came around with the Captain's Draft Tournament, where he came 5th to 6th again, losing with Team Russ DT against Team Tremor. And then in the Ice Cold EU Cup, he actually joined Washed Up for a little bit, finishing second there to Feel the Heat, joining in with Hasu and his boys. And then, of course, they finished losing in the finished 5th to 8th in the Icebreaker Tournament, losing to 30k. But that time with Team Feed'em is potentially the most successful any team has been in the Amateur Series. So many first places in that list is insane. That roster was, of course, Cure, Lutano, Zugrug, Hosty, and Collusion. So a lot of those players, in fact, making it on to this Simplicity roster. It's a strong lineup, but that was but in this case, that team of CrowdControl was a little too strong for them to deal with. But it's still cool to see. It is still cool to see that they have that potential. They are still one of the most successful North American teams, and it's showing. They're holding strong right now in 4th place. They need to keep holding on to it when placing against CrowdControl. CrowdControl, of course, let's talk about their let's talk about one of their top players here, Lauber. Lauber is a legend through the EU scene. They have been strong. Lauber joined in 2016, got a couple wins, Zotac Heroes of the Storm with Thundercats, winning in Go4s. It was a lot of amateur stuff to start off with before joining in the open division with Leftovers. Here we go. This is what we like to see. He performed pretty solidly here. He won the Kings of the Storm, something that I cast. That was fun. He won Go4s. The open division came around. 3rd place in in Open Division Week 6, losing to No Salt, No Win. 3rd place in Week 7, losing to WellPlay.me. 3rd, 4th, losing to Team Good Guys, who eventually went on to join HCC in 2017. 3rd place again, losing to beating Run It Down in the 3rd place matchup. 2nd place, highest they've scored. Highest they have scored with this team in an Open Division. They were able to get 1st place, beating out Schießheisen. They also beat out Run It Down in Week 4. 3rd place in Week 5, very familiar, losing to Run It Down. Run It Down again, a very, very strong team. Very cool to see. And then, of course, they were able to keep pushing a little bit further against Team Bushido Esports, beating them out both times, making it into the Open Division playoffs, where they finished 1st, beating out Polska Pamięta. They're a strong team, were Leftovers, and this is where they began to capitalize and made their way through the Crucible into the European Pro League. They made their way into HGC in 2018, the last year, and, well, they did pretty freaking well. Able to come 8th. They did 8th place in the first season, though. Did struggle a little bit there. Lauber, of course, subbed in for a couple other teams before they were picked up by E-Punks, where they went in for Open Division once again. Sorry, they went in for Open Division once again, so Lauber out of that team. Because I believe it was... Who came in for Leftovers instead? I believe it was Mopsio came in for them instead. They lost Lauber. So they went in with E-Pugs, able to perform very well in the Open Division, performing all the way up to the playoffs, where they lost to Holy Bananas. But that's the first team they lost here. It was an incredible performance, and they really, really did well. The E-Punks coming 2nd, they made their way into the Crucible. In the Crucible, once again commentated by me, they beat Monkey Menagerie to secure their place in the HGC Europe. The 2nd time that Lauber had qualified. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, as they did lose, as HGC died to death, which resulted in the sheer rise of Granite Gaming and also Lauber's fan club, where Lauber proceeded to win basically everything, or at least come 2nd. There is almost nothing that isn't 2nd or 1st place from 2019 to 2020. He's performed very, very well since HGC and has continued to win series, win tournaments, and he is a good player. One of the best tanks EU has ever had. But We have our game, as you can hear. The draft started without us, and we are very far into it. They finally swapped it over for us. We're on Sky Temple, and Abathur has been picked up by Simplicity. Medivh was banned again by CrowdControl, who opened up with the ETC Stukov, but Zeratul coming in early for Simplicity. One, hyper carry hero, very effective with an Abathur on their head, can really get solid value. And second, it's something that can deal with the Abathur. So picking it up, stealing it away from CrowdControl gives them a lot of freedom. This is also where we see the Zarya ban, protecting themselves from the potential CrowdControl sustain. If there's dive coming in, they don't want CrowdControl to live through it. We're going to see die now. Currently, we see die now on the Sylvanas, Rayquaza on the D.Va. Bit more standard for them. Simplicity. What do we see from them? They need a ranged. They don't need an offlane. They can have Cure offlane here, which I think is the plan. There's the healer, Brightwing, and Greymane. Very aggressive composition here. Very auto-attack focused. Cassia banned out. I think it's a little bit more freedom. Is it worth CrowdControl going for the triple bruiser composition, perhaps? Perhaps bringing in an Arthas. The likelihood isn't looking too positive for them. Rutzau, how does he deal with the Zeratul, Brightwing, Greymane? It's a very burst-heavy comp. Double support is how they deal with it. They go Uther. Big stun to drop and counter Zeratul or Greymane if he dives in. Great armor for the team to keep them sustained. They lose a bit of map pressure, but D.Va will easily make up for that to help counter soak the Abathur. This is smart. I really like this. I think this is a good pickup for the side of CrowdControl. I think that Uther might be the key here, but this is still a very tough draft to beat. This Uther, Rutzau, has to be on point. If he isn't, then we will see CrowdControl get absolutely destroyed by this Zeratul Abathur with that insane Greymane burst. This is going to be good. This will be exciting. Let's get ready to head into game number 3. Can CrowdControl close out this series, or will Simplicity be able to begin the comeback and try and get the reverse sweep? Simplicity, they're fighting for 4th place right now. They have to win the series to do it. If they don't, they drop to 7th. If CrowdControl lose, they stay 3rd, but they're less safe. If they win, they get 1st. Let's head into the game, ladies and gentlemen. On the left, it shall be Simplicity. They are running in with that Abathur Zeratul composition. Very exciting to see. CrowdControl, they are busting in with the double support. Uther and the Stukov. These are the go-to double supports, it seems, to try and play reactionary around the composition that Simplicity has to have. Also, again, Uther and Stukov, very popular as the double supports these days, and we're actually seeing not a stun cooldown reduction from the Uther, instead going for the extra cooldown reduction on his W. Keep everyone sustained, keep everyone healed, and reward them for grouping up. This, of course, gives him mana regen if he's able to land. Get that mana they try to move in. Cure was able to dance away. Rayquaza already taking quite a lot of damage. So if he can heal people 60 times with Holy Radiance, then he gets a 0.5 second cooldown reduction. Sorry, he gets a 0.5 seconds duration increase on his armor as they try to get onto Collusion. Looking for the kill. No blink heal yet. They get it with the Holy Radiance here. And of course, they get the 0.75 second cooldown reduction and 5 mana for each hero hit. Lutano plays far back, keeps them zoned. Ooh, blink cooldown reduction coming in for Zeratul. Going with the Shadow Hunter, gathering regen globes to lower the mana cost of blink by 3 up to 45. But if he is able to do it, then basic attacks will reduce the cooldown of blink by 1.5 seconds. This implies a move into a Psionic Strength style build to get the extra burst instead of a Cleave build, where Greater Cleave will help them set up and get extra damage here. This might help out because it means they could be more focused on single target murder, which would be a little harder for Uther to use because he's going to be very reliant on his Divine Shield, as opposed to an AoE kill potential, which would be healed up by a combination of Stukov and Uther very easily. Biggies took off and Uther. They both find Johanna up in top lane, but they can't get onto Masquerade to land that Hammer of the Lightbringer. They're going to push in, making the most of Sylvanas to disable the towers. Bruiser Cap making the way in as well. Rush down again for D.Va. Holy shock for Rutzau, adding a little bit of extra damage to help with the team. Sin's exposed for Johanna, trying to help them clear out the wave. Lolba is now up here as well. It's a 4-man up here. Really trying to get some value. Really trying to push in. Sorry about the quality of the clean feed. I know that zooming in kind of reveals it pretty hard. This is just the quality we've been given. And there it is. Psionic Strength for Zeratul. Really going heavy on the heavy burst style. It's a single target murder. And can be very good for micro. Can really outplay people with this. This will be comboed with Seeker in the Dark later on. Shadow Mending or Shroud of Adun, whichever one they want. And Master Warpblade or Sentence to Death on the side of CrowdControl. I expect probably Sentence to Death here. Gives them a lot of extra burst. Very effective. They use the Black Arrows to disable the fort. Dequaza pops the self-destruct. Stays alive. Top Temple, gonna be used to completion. Uther will get the shots from that. It's a lot of pressure, taking out the entirety of top lane. And now mid lane, taking quite a few shots as well. In the meantime, mid Temple, finally gonna be activated. Shots gonna begin being taken by Simplicity. CrowdControl, not giving it up yet. Lolba makes his way on, even baits Masquerade onto it. They're gonna try and deal with the fact that their fountain is being raced. Lutano, there's so much damage though, they have to be careful. That Batic armor. Keeping Lolba safe for now though. Creep forward. Lutano looks to try and take out Lolba, but is fine for the moment. And we are seeing CrowdControl in full control of this game. Lutano is very far back. He has disengaged, remember. Taking a very roundabout route out through the lurking arm as we see the die from die now. Collusion is absolutely doomed here. Going to be chased down all the way to the enemy base. Going to kill himself on towers. Making sure that he is not giving away a staggered death. We see Wormhole coming in for Zeratul. Not going to go with Seeker in the Dark. Okay, that changes things. That's a very interesting setup there. Not the usual style. CrowdControl going to begin working on this Bruiser camp. So, of course, that Psionic Strength here. Giving increasing damage to dealing damage with Zeratul, increases all damage dealt by 6%. This will actually, in theory, help with burst, and as such, Wormhole could gain value here. Just do it more consistently. Still a bit riskier. Bot lane being crushed in. Black Arrows doing a pretty good job. Doesn't disable the fort, unfortunately. They begin to try and push this in. They have enough minions that they're going to be able to do some work. Need to be careful of that Shadow Dagger. Dino takes aggro. Another minion wave arrives, and this fort will die. Mid fort going to be taken out in exchange, though, as Abatha body soaks top lane. Getting the experience from there. Simplicity trying to match here. They have lost all their forts, though. Still 2 forts up for CrowdControl, who are still in full control of this game. Dequaz takes a little bit of damage. Still tanking through for the moment, though. Mule for the Abatha. Very smart. That's why we're seeing CrowdControl committing so hard to their pushes. If they lose, if they are unable to kill forts, Abatha will repair everything back to normal. Level 10 is available. Divide Storm this time. Matt, we see the Flaming Swipe, Wailing Arrow, Mosh Pit, and the Micro Missiles. Very Wombo-focused composition here for CrowdControl this time, and very much living up to their name. Very CrowdControl-focused. Dequaz are going to boost away, avoid a fight. With 3 people showing in top lane, this boss is going to be started by CrowdControl. There's level 10. We're going to be seeing the Might of the Nerazim. Very good to combo with that Psionic Strength. You want to get your resets as much as possible, get as much damage as you can, and get that backline dead. Lutano sees it. Dino is the target. The ping has been made. They try to make it in. Bless Shield. Dino focused down. And he is going to be taken out. Moshpit was used. Does not catch anyone. And the Trollnado will finish it off. The boss still being taken. Loba, is he going to try and move back in and try and contest it? They still have the Abathur trying to do as much damage. Holsty trying to hold it. Loba on the point. Tries to hold. Face melt. There's the dive from Lutano. They try to finish him off. Masquerade dives in. Lutano taken out. The teleport from Brightwing not enough, as we do see the objective claimed by CrowdControl. But they did lose 2 people for that. Losing Sylve and now losing Stilkov. But they do survive. Trading only for 1 kill though. Taking out that Greymane. Cure dodging away from Loba. They're just going to try and focus him down. Loba, very isolated, will be taken out. You can see that insane burst that Cure now offers with that Zeratul. That boss going to be pushing in. They'll leave Greymane to deal with that. One of the best camp clears in the game. Rutzau reveals Cure. Holy shock, a little bit of damage being dealt. Cure yet to have any of his self-sustain talents here, so his sustain is Brightwing, who will come in here and get the help. In the meantime, Cat being stolen away by CrowdControl up in the top lane. And they're just going to push it for a keep, because why the hell not? They have all the value in the world. Zeratul's going to port back to base. They leave Brightwing on the objective. Black Arrow burned through. They even possession a minion or 2. You're baiting them out. Masquerade with Sins exposed, really helping with the wave clear here. Rutzau makes it up. It's a 4-man up here. Loba on the way, about to make it a 5. Brightwing has to abandon the temple. Needs to port back to base. Doesn't want to burn the teleport yet. They need to wait for the sustain on that. But that's going to be enough. They've driven back the members of CrowdControl. The keep will survive. Takes a little bit of damage. But CrowdControl, they did what they needed to. They forced a reaction out of simplicity. They have Encore at level 13. Good to go. Windrunner, because they did go for that Festering Wounds. Well met for Uther. Going to be fantastic if they can land that on Zeratul. That anti-damage will be an insane pickup. Here's level 13 for Simplicity, though. So much extra sustain for them. Mending Strikes for Zeratul, really going to help out. Giving them a lot of extra sustain here. See what they're able to do with it. Bruiser Camp being picked up. Safety Dust for Brightwing. Extra healing. A lot of extra sustain. Virulent Reaction does catch Cure. Cleanse has to be used. As the Mule slowly begins to heal up bot lane. A little bit of extra sustain being gained by Simplicity, buying them some more time. Because again, structure-wise, they are still losing. It's team fights, picks that they need to be getting, but they're not finding them. CrowdControl are trying to end this game as fast as possible. That's where they gain value. Divine Storm, great stun with the Hammer of the Lightbringer, and they picked up the kill. Nicely done. Lutano tried to jump away, but Uther was way too quick. Great play by Rutzau, dropping that Hammer of Justice to pick up that stun, and the follow-up CC as well. Beautifully executed. They move forward. Black Arrows disabling the keep. They're going very aggressively here. Looking to try and take this out. Black Arrow's about to expire, but the minion wave is about to arrive, and that will take the shots, meaning that they get the first keep of the game. CrowdControl continuing to snowball here. A full level lead. Siege Giant snuck away by Zeratul, though. Cure, this will allow them to grab their fort. Second fort achieved by Simplicity. And Cure, you remember, can get a reset. Ah, he wormholes. Get bait, great bait, 8 out of 8. As they'll make their way down to the bot lane, and they will actually clear up this camp. They won't even get the fort. Great play by CrowdControl. Bot lane going to be available to capture in 10 seconds. Mid going to be potentially mirrored by Simplicity. What's the priority here? Who is going to position where? It looks like we're just going to see CrowdControl hard commit to bot lane. Equaza just grabbing experience. They're just going to let top shots go, because those shots will first go to top lane. Meaning bot will survive. They will probably lose 2 forts for this, but they'll trade it for a keep. And that is far more long-term value for CrowdControl, much better for them. Mule going to be dropped. That buys Simplicity a lot of time here. That Temple still taking shots, though. Top Temple will finish off top and bot, as we already said. Begins focusing on to mid. They're going to try and pick up Lutano. Can't find the angle. Forced to retreat. Can the Mule save bot? It cannot. The 5 shots will finish the job. But it bought... Oh, Abathur shielded it! Amethyst saved it with his shield from his symbiote. The Mule will begin to heal that up. Loma is running it in. They are not happy. CrowdControl push forward to try and capitalize and take some shots of their own. Boss has spawned. Siege Giants now in the bot lane, and it all has the battle stations for Simplicity to try and hold this lane. Lots of damage being dealt there by Zeratul. They're trying to protect this camp, trying to let it push forward. Minion Wave on the way as well. Minion Wave might finish the job by itself, but we see Hosty on that Great Main clone forced to back up. That will be the retreat, but the Minion Wave is enough to grab the keep. They power slide, try to dive. Mosh Pit interrupted back to the Blessed Shield. Great rotation, Wailing Arrow, not enough to stop Masquerade. Cure looking for his angle. Defense Matrix holding them back. Divine Storm for the turn. They're going to try and take out Masquerade. Iron Skin is used, but it's not enough to save D.Va, who Lutano dives into the backline. Lutano with a great pickup here. Demount by Rutzau, though, and they're chasing him in. There's the speed boost from Abatha with level 16, but Masquerade came in too. Two people tried to save the day, and one of them was not needed. Masquerade gets taken out. That's still a 1-for-1. Kills still acquired by Simplicity. Keeps them in this game, but they're still down 2 keeps. So much damage from Cure. X-Ray heals it up, though. Rutzau is here as well. They're not going to start the boss yet. They're just going to grab their own siege camp. And die now. Port interrupted. He's in danger. Gets the heal, though. Power slide. Die now. Teleporting out. Festering wounds. Huge damage. Gets polymorphed as Utano dives to the backline. Cure with the teleport, and they pick up the kill. The relentless pursuit. Porting in the middle of the lane. A slightly ill-advised decision against a Zeratul, and as such, Die now pays for it. CrowdControl make their way forward. They're going to begin to set up. They grab the siege camp. Virulent reaction keeps Cure out of the fight for a little bit as they turn their attention to Collusion instead. Collusion taken out. Mosh Pit catches Zeratul as he comes back in for X-Ray. Using that wormhole, looking for the kill. Sets them up. Lutano and Hosty now. The double Grey Mains. But Hosty is getting body blocked out. He cannot finish X-Ray, who heals himself back up. And it's just Lutano. Masquerade is respawned, clearing out top lane. Temple already being taken, and mid-keep is about to look real sketch. Healing being grabbed by most of the teams. There's the stun 1, stun 2, stun 3. It's so brutal. Benediction, Hammer of Justice, Hammer of Justice. Divine Storm. It's so brutal. It's so brutal. Shots being taken by CrowdControl, blasting away at mid. Crushing their way through. Siege Giants onto the bot lane. With 2 temples, it's going to do a lot of core damage as well. The Mule is dropped a little late here. It's going to be able to delay, but it will not save it. Alright, shots from mid have expired. Shots from top now onto the core. They're going to try and take out Dayquaza first. Masquerade cannot do it. Cure dancing it out. Dodges the Wailing Arrow. That's pretty effective. Cure comes back in. Pops the mech. Blinks away. That's good news. Cure buys some time. But in the meantime, Siege Giants are not being dealt with. There's a Temple on core, and the core's dying. And yeah, that's GG. Well played, CrowdControl. Take game number 3 and the full 3-0 on the series. CrowdControl taking the full series, and with that, CrowdControl will claim first place in the HeroesCCL. First place goes over to CrowdControl, sneaking the win away from Simplicity. Very nicely done by them. 8 kills to 5. 3 of those kills being on Greymane. Lutano having a bit of a rough day today. Really being targeted for good reason. Lutano is one of the best assassins in the world, and CrowdControl recognized that. They put a lot of effort into dealing with Lutano today, and he was punished. They put a lot of focus, maybe more than was needed, but it worked out. And as such, CrowdControl, they were able to take the reaction when they needed it. And with that, CrowdControl will claim victory here. Thanks for casting. They always expert casting. Very appreciated. Thank you very much. I hope you had a good time. So, I'm going to update the table so that we can get that for you and show you exactly what this has done to the scores. Ooh, exciting. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that victory, the score's not up to date yet. Darn it. Give it another refresh. Come on, baby. Give me my scores. Give me my score update. Interact. Either way, I very much hope you guys enjoyed the series so far. Alright, score's not been updated yet, so we'll just jump back to me while I fix that, while I wait for that to happen. I hope you've all enjoyed the series so far. With that victory, CrowdControl take first place in HeroesCCL by 1 map score point over Team Oxygen. Big thank you. They're going to be very grateful to Granite Gaming, the first team to take a game off of Oxygen. If you missed any of the games, youtube.com/Tetcher. I have cast every CCL game, and I will continue to cast every CCL game. So make sure that you pop in and make sure you catch all those VODs. If you enjoyed my stream, the one free thing that you can do to support my casting is to be an active member of the community on Twitter, on Reddit. Anytime CCL is mentioned, if there's anything about casting, if you like my casting and it's not rude to throw it in there, then mention that my casting is available. Share this stream around the world so that we can grow this family and keep the intention coming in. If you want to more monetarily support, though, then make sure you check us out by dropping a subscription. We're aiming for 150 subscriptions before Christmas. We were aiming for 100, but y'all smashed it. Feels good. We're at 121 right now, as we did have a couple expire during the stream, but it is very appreciated. Everyone who's been supporting so far, and we have a very achievable goal if yesterday is anything to go by. Thank you all so much for the support. You can also, if you're not looking for something that is a subscription, donate using bits or donate using the Streamlabs link below the stream. And if you're on YouTube, there is a Streamlabs donation link in the description and a join button below the stream where you can subscribe for as little as 99 pence per month to support me in what I do. For now, everybody, let's have another check to see if we can get our scores up to date. Properties, refresh, interact, and let's hope that fixed it. Nope, someone's just not updating the scores today. Well, whatever. I guess we'll show them when we come back next week. Next week's games, I will still be bringing you. They should be very exciting. And the series we will be starting off with will be Granite Gaming versus Chili Mountain. Granite Gaming, who traded their tank to Chili Mountain, should be very entertaining there. That will be on the 12th. On the second game of the 12th will be Sidestep Kings versus 30k. Very fun setup. I hope you enjoy that. That is honestly the one I am most hyped about. I think that might be the most hyped game of the season in theory. We'll have to see. If not, CrowdControl versus versus Oxygen should be pretty good. Sorry, CrowdControl versus Oxygen should be pretty decent. Yep, no one's updating this freaking page. Feels bad. Alrighty, that should be entertaining. On the 13th, we still have 2 more matchups as well. Wildheart Esports will be taking on Simplicity, and that matchup we talked about just then, CrowdControl versus Oxygen. So those are some hype matchups. Sidestep Kings versus 30k on the 12th, CrowdControl versus Oxygen on the 13th. The 13th will be slightly different because they are not providing us with a clean feed on the 13th. They haven't told us why, they just told us we won't have one. So we're going to be using the main stream and muting it, which I do apologize. I'll play some draft music in the game, or just a Heroes playlist in the game, so there will be some background noise instead of just my voice, but we will still bring you the game even if CCL aren't able to provide us with the clean feed. It will still be happening. For now, though, I hope you all enjoyed the stream. If you did, please show your support by sharing, interacting on Reddit, talking about the casts. Anything is appreciated. And of course, thank you all for watching. Make sure you follow so you know when we go live next. Have a lovely evening, everybody, and we will see you all next time. I'm going to start a rerun so that you can see what's going on next and catch up with yesterday's games too. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you all next time. Have a good night, and goodbye.